Hey everyone, how's it going today? Colorado Avalanche Collector back with another Beckett Hockey Monthly Review. So today we are throwing it back to August of 1995, and if you notice on the cover is the legend himself, Martin Brodeur, when the New Jersey Devils won in 1995. So that was their first Stanley Cup win. On the Devils at that time was just a great defense. They had Ken Danico, Scott Niedermayer, Scott Stevens. Forwards, they had Claude Lemieux and a bunch of other great players that I don't recall at the moment, but as we go into this Beckett, we will see who was on that team as well. So on the cover, Martin Brodeur. Hello, Stanley. Martin Brodeur celebrates New Jersey's first Cup win, and he would win several other Stanley Cups during his career. He would go on to surpass Patrick Waugh for career wins and a whole lot of other great stats. Definitely a Hall of Famer. Well, he got put into the Hall of Fame this past year, so that's awesome. So on the inside, we see a really nice artist painting of Sergei Fedorov of the Detroit Red Wings. Really nice artwork. Just a lot of great detail. I absolutely love these old Becketts with the artist drawings on the inside. Some really nice paintings. I wish Beckett would bring them back, but I can't see that happening. But this right here is just a really nice, just really beautiful detail. There we go. So in this issue, here are some of the articles and the departments, which is a weird way of putting it, but yeah. So we have an article on the New Jersey Devils, Mario Lemieux's comeback, state treasure. So that's discussing the All Beckett team for the 94-95 shortened lockout year. Readers All Beckett team. So this right here is the editor's choice. And right there is the reader's choice. And figure skating, so that's talking about the old starting lineup figurines that used to be really highly sought after. They still are, but not too much. You don't hear too much about them now, but a lot of them are pretty rare now. And riding shotgun, so that's also about the starting lineups right there. So you see a picture of Dominic Hasek named as All Beckett goalie. So one of the teasers right there. So let's continue on. Think Young. So this touches on hobbyists and loving some of the rising stars at the time. So players such as Paul Kariya, Eric Lindros, Jaromir Jagr was young at this time. Teemu Selanne, Alexei Yashin, Pavel Bure, Matt Sundin. So this just discusses some of the old names that were up and coming at this time. Yep, that's pretty cool. Look at those names. Oh, Peter Forsberg was a prominent player, of course, and but also Todd Harvey, Jeff Friesen. A lot of potential at that time, but they had steady careers, but nothing that really lasted or stood out. Here's a really cool ad. These cards are so rare, we dare you to find them in cardboard. So it's a play on words, but these were gold plated. Really nice designs. Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr. So yeah, and there's the only in metal. So there was 500 gold, 1,000 silver, 5,000 bronze. There we go. That's pretty cool. I'd love to see if anyone has those still. So let's start this issue with the main article on the cover, discussing the New Jersey Devils and their Stanley Cup win. So the New Jersey Devils, won the Stanley Cup in 1995. There was half a season that year, so the season commenced sometime in January, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a shortened season. They had half a year. And New Jersey was just coming into their own. Like solid defense. Great core, great offense, and backed by Martin Brodeur, who was becoming a legend. So let's go into this right here. Yeah. So yeah, as you can read right here, they didn't have a lot of like huge stars, but their team was just really solid. John McClain. So you can give this a quick read if you want. Discussing, yeah, how they passed Detroit. And Detroit were no slouches either. They had Fedorov, Eiserman, and Keith Primo at their center core, and that is a solid top three right there. So Cup Impact. So this discusses how some of the New Jersey collectibles were taking off. So if you want to give this a quick read, there we go. You can pause it. Discussing Steve Eisman and some of the wings and Brodeur. There's some cool shots. There we go. There we go. So you can give that a quick read. And there's some great photos. So that's the team photo of the Stanley Cup. And there's Claude Lemieux, who was named the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Okay, so moving on. Mario Lemieux made his comeback around this time from Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that cut his career drastically short, but still one of the all-time greats. It's never good news when a superstar is sidelined by health problems or other means. Yeah. Hodgkin's disease. Yeah. So he made two comebacks in his career. One in 1995, and he made another comeback in 2001, and it was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I remember watching that back in the day, and he made a huge goal in his comeback. It was pretty special to witness, and it was just really cool. Just the atmosphere in the old Maple Leaf Gardens, or the HCC, which was new at the time. And that is gone to Scotiabank Arena now, but yeah, so right there. There's his 94-95 Premier Hockey card. Yeah, there we go. Here's an ad for Ultra. And these were considered premium cards at the time. They scream 90s. There's some of the old inserts. Pretty cool. Series 2. And here's the short print. So these are various articles discussing the hobby and news and notes from the hobby world. So there's Paul Kariya. Let me see if I can get a better shot of this. Sorry everyone, I'm trying to straighten this out. The big hurt. Okay. When the season began, Gretzky needed 42 points to reach the 2,500 point plateau, a milestone Upper Deck figured worthy of a special card. So he had several cards released at this time for his 2,500 point in 2000. And he passed Gordie Howe as well for the all-time goals with 802, and he would add to that total as well. But yeah, that's a pretty cool card. 2,500. Boston Bruins, that's cool. 94-95 magnetic schedule. And magnets were hugely collectible. Caps for the kids, so that's discussing Pogs. Remember Pogs? Remember Elf? No. That's a Simpsons reference. Elf in Pog form. But yeah, no, hockey did have Pogs, and some of them were pretty cool. But like the Pog fad itself, they disappeared. That's pretty cool right there. I believe that's the back of that Bobby Orr that we saw previously. The Bobby Orr. So that's the bronze plate. Pretty sweet. you want to just pause it, give everything a quick read, by all means. What else do we have here? Divisional discrepancies, so I won't go into everything because I could just talk for hours on everything. Here we go. Last 10 number 1 picks and their best rookie card. So we have Wendell Clark, Joel Murphy, Pierre Turgeon, drafted by Buffalo, Mike McDaniel with Minnesota, Matt Sundin with Quebec, Nolan with Quebec, Lindros with Quebec, Roman Hamrlik, Alexander Daigle, and Ed Jovanovski. And they're rookies. Pretty cool. Here's the odd to be reverse about it, but I don't know. 95 lineups coming soon. So here's those startup from Kinder Corner, the figurines that they used to release, and they were in different poses. Some of them were short print, and some of them weren't. So with the breakaway pose, we have Brendan Shannon and Rob Blake. Passing pose, Scott Stevens and Mike McDaniel. Right-handed goalie pose, Brodeur, Potvin, and Hasek. And no left-handed goalie pose. Receiving pose. Sorry, everyone. My apologies for that. Receiving pose, Pierre Turgeon, Pavel Bure, and Kirk Muller. So they were kind of snipers. Skating pose, Cam Neely, Theo Fleury. A slapshot pose, Luke Robitaille, Adam Graves, Sergei Fedorov, and Sadness Ozolinsh before he went to Avalanche. He was in San Jose. And face-off pose, Chelios. I don't know why they have Chelios in the face-off pose, because he's a defenseman, but okay. Brett Hall and Bob Corkum. Bob Corkum. Sounds like a wine expert. There's an old ad right there. Okay. The finest lockout ever. So this discusses the lockout and how it had an effect on some of the cards. So there's an old Stadium Club issue. The team issue. They released a similar card for all the NHL teams at that time. So right here you have, I believe that's Ken Danico, Martin Brodeur, and Scott Stevens. Scott Niedermayer was vastly underrated at this time. And it wasn't until the 2000s that he really became noticed on the team. But solid contribution. And he would go on to win the Stanley Cup with Anaheim in 2007 as well. So that's pretty sweet. Here's an old card, vintage card. So Chuck Arneson. I believe his son, Tyler Arneson, would go on to play for Chicago and Colorado as well. Beliveau believer, so meaning John Beliveau. I would have loved to have met John Beliveau. He was an absolute gentleman from what I heard. Beautiful signature. One of the top 5 signatures in all of hockey. And he signed his autograph. Came out just amazing. Look at this old ad for Score. I remember Score back in the day. Right now, by today's standards, terrible. But back then, when there wasn't much out and everything was more simplified, the internet wasn't even a factor. Autographs and jerseys weren't even really prominent. Score was pretty nice to break. Just fun for kids. There's Ron Hextall. Identify what's wrong with this picture. Prove you're no third string collector. Yeah. What is wrong with this picture? Well, for starters, the picture's the Flyers. No. Okay. Score 95. The right players, right look, right price. Nah. The ice is melting fast. No, there's no crossbar. I don't have time to look at that, but if you spot any, just let me know in the comments below. Pretty cool. Now, I'm taking so slow with this, but you know what? I'm kind of enjoying it, so hope you all are too. You just pause it, give everything a read if you want. So here's the readers right. Across the Ocean, Parkas 94-95 special edition set became a Europe-only release, although the product may eventually find its way to North America, and that it did. It became mass-produced, and eventually came over to North America. So these are the rookie cards in that set, and they also had the Team Canada ones as well. And players such as Jerome McGinley, Alan McCulley, Wade Redden, Ed Jovanovski, all had their rookies in that set. Now they weren't considered key, like main rookies, but I would consider them rookies regardless. Extra rookies they were ruled as later on. So Dan Cloutier on Team Canada, he would go on to play for the Vancouver Canucks, the New York Rangers, one or two other places. So there we go. Okay, just discussing some of the stuff here in the Hobby Hall of Fame graphs. Let's focus on this for a moment. I have one of the commemorative All-Star sheets that were available as a mail-in offer from the packs of 56, 57 Hockey Missing Link hockey cards. I would love to try the sheet get the sheet signed by the 6 players on the sheet: John Belleville, Glenn Hall, Doug Harvey, Gordie Howe, Ray Kelly, and Ted Lindsay. Cool. Are these guys still alive? To what teams or organizations can I write to get letters forwarded to them? That's pretty cool. Doug Harvey died several years ago. That's kind of depressing, but they answered their question, so pretty informative. I wish they had readers writing Beckett still, or even on their online site. It would be great to see. So here we go. Having the right pen is an important part of the autograph collecting process, and I know that firsthand because when I went to meet the Colorado Avalanche, my pen dried up, and the autographs weren't that great. But I got to meet players regardless. But here's some tips on Sharpies, and this still applies to today. If you go to meet any players, get autographs, what works best, what surface of cards, and yeah, just some key tips on getting autographs. So if you want to pause that, give that a quick read. Fascinating. I don't know what that is. I'm going to skip that. Here's the show calendar. Here's the hot list. So this is always interesting to read. Here's the hot list for this time, August 1995. We have Eric Lindros at number 1, Jaromir Jagr, Paul Kariya, Pavel Bure, Sergei Fedorov, Wayne Gretzky down at number 6, Brett Hall, Forsberg, Potman, and Jim Carrey. And not the comedian, the goalie that was on the Washington Capitals during the 94 to 97 or 98, and then he went to Boston. But yeah. Up and coming, Martin Brodeur. I find that funny since he won the cup and now they have him up and coming. But he just stormed the hobby after that. Keep an eye on Paul Coffey. He's been around here a long time at this time, so defensemen seem to be underrated in terms of the hobby. A lot of people tend to focus, even today, on the forwards and goalies. And there's a cool card. Potvin, Belfour, and Arturs Urbe. Pretty sweet. Love looking at some of the old cards. Like this one right here. This one's Sergei Fedorov holding a soccer ball in the old Be a Player set. Be a Player was a great set. I wish they'd come back with that as well. There's a Jaromir Jagr. So here's the Beckett article, or Beckett pricing, sorry. And I'll just zoom in through this right here. Here's some of the old sets. You can just glance through them. Let's see what Gretzky's rookie was at the time. Gretzky's rookie at the time was $750. That is quite a bit still. It's around that mark today. About the 800 mark, but that's raw. Graded, you'd expect to pay a lot more. So here's some of the 80s stuff. Yeah, the 80s cards. You've all seen these before, I'm sure. The 90s. So I'm going to just zoom down here. Let's just take a look. There's Patrick Waugh's rookie. Okay, it's not zooming in for whatever reason. There we go. Bambi's worth $20. Gretzky, 20 from 86, 87, $140. It's at 150 now, currently 120 to 150. There's some of the 80s stuff. Pause it and see some of the old amounts. Okay, so let's skip all this. You've all seen these before. Just some of the old card pictures. Let's get to the 90s stuff because 94, 95, 95, 96 is when they really started getting innovative with like new inserts and products were being introduced. They kind of flooded the market a bit, but still, it was a fun time for insert collectors. So much variety and just choices. Really nice. And some of these were pretty valuable because the odds to getting them they weren't like Upper Deck now with the canvases and regular inserts. Some of these were really hard to get. Yeah. So let's just zoom in on some old. That's a cool one, Deer Bear. And you've probably seen these in some of my older Beckett reviews. Because Beckett just kept the same photos up for years and never changed them. It's still cool to go through, see some of the old photos of cards. There's 94, 95 Ultra. Speed Merchants, Pavel Bure, that's pretty sweet. Gretzky, Joseph, so Bill Ranford on 94, 95 Upper Deck. And right there, so yeah, 95, 96 cards were just around the corner for this article, or for this magazine, so there's some old ads. Card collecting is a family thing. Mark Howe and Gordie Howe, that's pretty cool. There's an old survey. Okay, so let's get this right here. This is cool. So we have State Treasures, Jaromir Jagr and Eric Lindros. Two hobby heroes who plied their trade in the state of Pennsylvania. They are 94-95 all Beckett team. So we got Eric Lindros and Jaromir Jagr. So right here is the article discussing some of the players. There's Paul Kariya. So Player of the Year, Eric Lindros. Others considered Jaromir Jagr, Paul Coffey, Dominic Hasek. And it discusses why Eric Lindros was chosen. There you go, that's pretty cool, so you can give that a quick read. Comeback Player of the Year, Owen Nolan for the Quebec Nordiques. Other players considered Phil Housley, Gary Suter, Bernie Nichols, and Ron Hextall. And, Rookie of the Year, Peter Forsberg. And others considered Paul Kariya, Jim Carey, and Blaine Lasher. Yeah, of Boston. Didn't start regular season with a bang, but he was sure finished on a high note, didn't he? The second line center behind Joe Sakic, Forsberg finished as the NHL's top rookie scorer with 50 points. In the process, he fulfilled the expectations of Quebec fans who had been waiting for their club to reap the dividends of trading away the rights to Eric Lindros. So, yeah, back in 1991, when they drafted Eric Lindros and he basically refused to be a Quebec Nordique, they traded him to the Philadelphia Flyers in a major trade, and basically that's what helped push Colorado to Stanley Cup contention, because they had a lot of key pieces. Just a big trade back then. So, yeah. So here's the all Beckett team. You have Eric Lindros, top center. Others considered Sergei Fedorov, Mark Messier, Ron Francis, Joe Sakic, and Alexei Zhamnov. Wow. Yeah, easy pick, Eric Lindros. Him and the Legion of Doom line with Mikhail Renberg and John Leclerc. They were just a force back then. So that's pretty cool. There's back issues. It's a random advertisement, but well. Left wing, John LeClair. There we go, the Philadelphia Flyers. Others considered Luc Robitaille, Keith DeChuck, Brendan Shanahan. So discussing John LeClair, who became prominent on the Philadelphia Flyers in the mid-90s, along with Mikhail Renberg and Eric Lindros. So he won a cup with Montreal. Yeah, Stanley Cup hero in Montreal in 1993, and then he went to the Philadelphia Flyers. And in the right wing, Jaromir Jagr. Others considered Theo Fleury, Owen Nolan, and Brett Hall and Peter Bondra. Pretty stacked right wing talent, but Jagr was an easy decision right there. And hard to believe he played until like a year ago. Just absolute beast. Absolute legend. If it wasn't for the lockouts, he'd be behind Wayne Gretzky for number 2 all time. But he may not have had as long of a career. So it's a catch-22 there. For defensemen, Paul Coffey of the Detroit Red Wings and Chris Chelios, so they tied. Chris Chelios and Paul Coffey. Others considered Ray Bourque, Phil Housley, Gary Suter, Brian Leach, Larry Murphy, Eric Desjardins. Just a lot of big talent on the blue line. Paul Coffey and Chris Chelios, I agree with their choices. Here we go. There's Dominic Hasek. And also, here's the 94-95 insert checklist of all the winners. You know what? Looking at this, there's not many inserts for 94-95, but yeah, 95-96, that would change. And then for the goalie, Dominic Hasek. Others considered Jim Carey, Martin Brodeur, Ed Belfour, and Ken Raggett. Wow, Ken Raggett. I didn't even know he was in the conversation, but hey, to each their own. So that discusses Hasek, Brodeur, Belfour, yeah. So rookie center, we have Peter Forsberg, Todd Harvey, Todd Marchand, Ian LaPierre were others considered. Yeah, here we go. Rookie left wing, Paul Kariya on the Anaheim Ducks. Here we go. Rookie right wing, Jeff Friesen. Now I'll let you read the rest here. I'm not going to prattle on here. I'll just let you all read it. Skim down slowly. Rookie defense, Chris Therien and Oleg Tverdovsky. Right there. And rookie goalie, Jim Carey. Okay, and here's the 94-95 Raiders All Beckett team. So player of the year, Eric Lindros. We have Luc Robitaille, Jaromir Jagr, and defenseman Paul Coffey and Chris Chelios, and the goalie Dominic Hasek. Rookie of the year, Peter Forsberg. Rookie center, Peter Forsberg, Paul Kariya, Jeff Friesen. There's Oleg Tverdovsky and Kenny Janssen. And rookie goalie Jim Carey, and comeback player of the year Owen Nolan. So, and this is pretty cool right here. So this is an article on the figurines, the starter figurines. Once considered about producing hockey starting lineup figures, Kenner finally jumped into the game, much to collectors' delight. So this is the article. If you want to give it a read, discussing how they came to that decision. About the company. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. Grand Fier. Two alternates right there. Like one's different than the other, and one is rare. I don't know which one is rare, but you can read it right there. Yeah, producing a Canadian only Fier. So this one right here was a Canadian exclusive, and that caused Americans to really hunt that one down. Riding a shotgun. So this is discussing how the cards themselves that were included were becoming popular. So I'm past 30 minutes here now, so I'm gonna try to speed this up. Not to be rude or anything, but this is longer than I anticipated, and I might run out of storage. So here we go, and that's the lineups that were being released or had been released up to that point. A lot of prominent names there. That's pretty cool. There's a nice one. Pat LaFontaine is in limited supply. So this was a short print that they produced. Oh, and just more beautiful pics. Really nice coverage that Beckett used to have. There is a Luke Robitaille. Pretty sweet. Luke Robitaille. And no Wayne Gretzky. So it discusses why Wayne Gretzky hadn't been produced up to that point. Here we go. Yeah, so this is what may have prevented it. Wayne Gretzky's deal with Upper Deck at the time. He was a spokesman for Upper Deck. So right here, the 93 Ed Belfour figure is a hot commodity due to its limited supply. So just discussing some of the supplies. There's an ad right there. Another ad. And here is Jaromir Jagr. Beautiful. Nice Jaromir Jagr. Painting. Artist drawing. Just beautiful. Nice. And then on the back is Dominic Hasek. All Beckett hockey team 1995. In his old Buffalo Sabres jersey. Look at that gear. That's just pretty cool. Nice throwback. Anyway, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed that. My apologies if it dragged on a bit. Haven't done this in a while, so I gotta get back into the flow of things. Hope you all enjoyed that little throwback, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe as always. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this or want to see more, let me know. And thanks again. I will talk to you all later. Bye.